Joining me now is a man who may have all the answers, well, indeed should have all the answers, a man who knows fireworks better than just about anyone. The president of Fireworks by Grucci Incorporated, Phil Grucci. Now, the Grucci family has been in the fireworks business for 163 years. So, Phil, you certainly, I think, know what you're talking about when it comes to this field. We just looked at that fantastic display for the opening of the Atlantis. Tell me a little bit about what went into planning that one.
That program took us over a year to plan for, and that program itself was encompassing the entire island of the Palm Jumeirah, the fronds, the monorail, the Crescent Road, and also to highlight the opening of the Atlantis. So there's many times, we had many times that we were here looking at the sites, a lot of work that goes into it, shipping of the explosives and the fireworks here. It's a tremendous undertaking.
So looking at that display, I mean, absolutely fantastic, especially when looking at the aerial shots and the whole palm just lighting up. Sure. What have you learned from that you're going to be taking into this newest attempt, this record-breaking attempt?
What we learned on it is certainly to take advantage of the stage. I mean, to have a stage like the Palm, to work with that stage and outline all of the many features of that, and now expanding that from the Palm to the world, taking advantage of now highlighting those both properties is going to be spectacular. To be able to take advantage of the timing that we have, we've been working on it for 10 months now. So we're almost ready to go.
Yeah, almost ready indeed. So tell me a little bit, I mean, no spoilers obviously, everyone's
Sure.
looking forward to seeing it live in action, but what's going into this? What makes it a record-breaking attempt? What kind of numbers are we looking at? Sure. What's going to happen on the night?
In order to break the world record, it's based on a minimum time, a minimum duration of 5 minutes, and also a minimum quantity of products. So the quantity of fireworks that are fired is what really sets the world record. And in this case, we're going to attempt to eclipse the world record by firing over 450,000 devices.
And what's the previous record?
Current record is 77,000 devices.
All right, that's quite a jump.
Yeah, so we're loading feverishly right now to be ready for that.
I mean, you mentioned 1 year for the Atlantis display, like 10 months, I think you just said, in terms of planning this. Like, what happens in those 10 months? You know, what's involved in planning an event of this magnitude? First
step is obviously looking at the stage and how can we highlight the stage and create and design something that is going to be memorable. Again, working with the beautiful, iconic features of the Palm Jumeirah and the World Islands makes that job a little easier for me as the designer, taking advantage of all of that space. With linear, we're using over 95 kilometers of cable to outline the islands, all the continents, and also the frond and the leaves of the palm tree. So the design is first that drives what the fireworks are going to be. Then all of our factories, including our factory in New York, are manufacturing all the specialty devices, because there are many specialty devices in the program. Shipping it here, getting it brought in, working with all the authorities to make sure that we're doing the proper thing from a risk assessment perspective and make sure that the show is safe. Then mobilizing a crew of over 200 pyrotechnicians to come here. Some of them live here, they're domestic, to set the equipment up, get it loaded in a proper way, and get it distributed. Because we're working on islands, it's very difficult, especially the World Island. We're dealing with the water. We can't just get there very quickly, so we're working with the weather. We have contingencies to make sure that we stay on schedule, because we can't be 1 second later than that moment when it actually has to happen.
So how do you keep it that precise? I mean, that's something I guess you program into the computers. How does that work?
The performance is actually fired with computer systems. We'll have over 100 computers that are all networked within the Palm Island and the world that will all fire at the same time. Some computers will have different files on them to fire different sequences at different times, but at the end it has to be a seamless performance where we'll have a sunrise come up over the world in a brilliant yellow of fireworks. It has to wave basically over a 17-mile stretch of space in order to do that. So the program is designed to be seen from the air because of the shapes that we're creating, and it's designed to be watched certainly from the TV. Dubai One will have a certain spectacular view of that to see what those creations are.
Absolutely. From a creative perspective, I mean, that must be something that's really challenging as a designer. You know, the fireworks displays around the world, fantastic fire displays around the world every single year. How do you try to come up with something original? How do you try to use, I mean, you mentioned that sunrise theme, which sounds great, but how does that creative process work?
The creative process is a reality check to make sure that what you have, what I envision, is actually able to be performed. When you look at a stage as large as what we're performing on here, you have to look at the reality of being able to produce something on such a large structure, a large space, and then placing the proper items within that space, just like you would cast a performance of a dance performance. There are certain performers in our programs, the fireworks, that are better featured in during the bold moments, and then there are other ones that during the elegant moments. And with a program of this size, it really reeks and it really screams boldness, big, dramatic. So the challenge here is to scale it properly with the space that we have to work with, and also be realistic about what you could perform on when you're dealing with a break wall that goes around the world that's 17 miles long, and it's in the middle of the sea. So it's a combination of design matched with engineering, matched with project management in order to make sure you get it all completed and get it ready to go at that moment when it has to perform, and it shows up as the shape that you're looking for.
I mean, not to put a damper on things, we're all really excited about it, but I imagine something of this magnitude is not easy. What are you most worried about? What was the most challenging aspect, both in terms of preparing and what are you most concerned about on the day?
Sure. The biggest challenge here is just the volume, is moving the volume of product to such a large space that we're dealing with. So because it is also on the water, you're dealing with the aspects of the environment, the weather. Every day we're very pleased that the weather has been cooperative with us to get out onto the world islands, to get out onto the frond areas. Everything is on pontoons that are floating in the water. So the biggest challenge is really distributing the volume of fireworks that we have in the large space that we're working in, and making sure that the project management is staying on schedule each and every day.
All right, so finally, again, no spoilers necessary, but just, you mentioned sort of the sunrise motif. What are the general themes? What can people look forward to seeing on New Year's Eve? What's the overall theme? What are some preview? I guess a preview.
Sure. I mean, the overall theme is celebrating a great 2013. As you stated before, I'm very fortunate to be here doing the Expo announcement. There's a lot to be celebrating and looking forward for the future. So there are some features in here in the program. One is the UAE flag that we're going to be presenting. That's going to be the largest flag ever presented in pyrotechnics. The actual shape of the flag fired into the sky. We'll have other features where we have sky etching that will be launching a falcon flying right down the monorail in 20 segments, and then an English and Arabic countdown that'll happen from all of the frond tips right down the middle of the monorail as well. So a lot of it is the highest of technology. Some of the fireworks that we're making, that we've made in our factory back in the States, have very tiny microchips in them, so we can control the heights to create a sequence that's very abstract, but yet it shows a shape or a figure. We're excited to get that out, and kind of bustling about getting the vision out there, but we have to wait a few more days to do so.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds fantastic. I mean, I have no doubt you'll beat the record. Top the Atlantis performance. It sounds like a fantastic one. Well, Mr. Grucci, thank you so much for stopping by on your busy schedule, obviously building up to New Year's.
It's our honor. Thank you very much.